What's up YouTube, Capital G here, and it has finally arrived, our new Qliphort card from Invasion of Venom, Qliphort Down, and man, finally, that is what I'm talking about. Now, we don't know if this is going to be the only Qliphort card, obviously, but at least, one is better than nothing. You can call it a leak, you can call it a rumor, basically somebody got their hands on some information that I don't think was supposed to get out as far as some of the legacy archetype that we're going to be getting support in Invasion of Venom. I didn't expect any more dual terminal 3 archetypes, which Qliphort definitely are, and I don't know why I thought that we were going to be getting a monster. I don't think that we can actually get a monster because I'm pretty sure that it would fuck up the lore of dual terminal 3 inside the Great Tree. This is how I understand it. There were 9 pods. 9 pods equals 9 Qliphort monsters, and then obviously inside the Qliphort are the Infernoids, and they basically release the Infernoids, and they're like trying to fucking cleanse the world, and they're just going around killing everybody, and then the Zephyr have to like end up fighting them. I don't know the entire story of dual terminal 3, but that's like some of the parts of it anyways. 9 monsters outside of towers anyways, so I'm not really sure that Qliphort can get any more monsters, but they can definitely give them more spells and traps, because spells and traps can obviously tell the story of the shit that's happening in dual terminal 3. Now it's interesting here in this card, Qliphort Down, you see Scout and it's kind of blasting off into the sky, but we see all of this ice stuff around, and I'm wondering if the ice was caused by El Shaddai Anoitilis, because Anoitilis is basically construct and Infernoid Tiara. So people have told me that Tiara is obviously evil, so I'm wondering if this ice was caused by Anoitilis. Like, that would just make sense, you know what I mean? So let's look at what the card actually does. Qliphort Down. It's a normal trap card. It says after activating this card, special summon this card as an effect monster. It's a machine type. It's Earth. It's level 4. It's 1800 attack. It's 1000 defense. This card is not treated as a trap card. During the turn that you special summon this card, Qli spells and traps you control cannot be destroyed. Effect number 2, if summoned this way, this card can be treated as 3 tributes for the tributes of an Qliphort monster. Okay, so for my money, I think this card is really good, and I would say that there's pretty much no reason to run something like Climate Change anymore. Climate Change, especially after Qliphort Scout got hit, like the main purpose that Climate Change served was kind of like protection for your Scout. Like, you could search it, and then if your Scout got hit with like a MST or a Twin Twister, you could just get your Scout back. But now you could basically just chain directly to the MST or to the Twin Twister, and your opponent like won't get to destroy your Scout, and then you get a monster on board too. So it's actually kind of like a +1 in that situation. Like, if your opponent just basically MSTs, like, they don't get any value out of your MST. So basically your MST and Don, they basically trade for each other, but then you get a monster out of Don, or excuse me, Down. You get a monster out of Down too. So again, it's basically like a +1. Now, obviously, this would be better if Wavering Eyes was still a thing, which thank God it's not, because playing Qliphort with 1 Scout under like a Wavering Eyes format was fucking a nightmare. But in the OCG, Wavering Eyes is still at 1, so I mean, it'll be even better. This card will be even like much better in the OCG. Now, one of the things that's cool about this card is that it doesn't count as a trap card when it's on the field, which means that your opponent can't later, like, let's say, you can't destroy it or whatever, during the turn that it's summoned. If it's still counted as a trap, your opponent could easily top deck like an MST and like MST it during their turn or something like that. So it doesn't actually count as a trap. They can't, MST it. They can't destroy the back row and say, oh, you just lost your monster. So I think that's really good, and it doesn't clog up one of your back row spots too. So you can set other things. So obviously the whole card of the Demise thing works perfectly there, because they don't, you pretty much don't want to keep a good hand size in Qliphort, because you don't want to discard those cards for card of Demise. Now, the second effect is kind of curious, because it says that it counts for 3 summons for an Qliphort. Now, we know that there are only 2 Qliphorts. There's Sky Base and Towers, and obviously Towers is banned in the TCG, but it's not banned in the OCG. I'm wondering if Konami in the OCG is going to put pressure on Konami and the TCG to unban towers, or if they're just going to unban towers, because honestly, no one fucking plays Skybase. No one has ever played that card competitively. It, like, really, look it up. Look at all the Qliphort decks that ever topped. You may find one or two since the fucking beginning of what is the name of that set? New Challengers. Since the beginning of New Challengers that ever ran Skybase. Like, you're just not gonna find that many. So I'm wondering if Konami might actually unban towers now, because that's the only Qliphort that anybody runs. And we've seen in the past, in my opinion, that Konami and the OCG has pressured Konami and the TCG into doing stuff. Like, did you guys really think it was a coincidence that, like, the Dragon Rulers randomly got banned in the OCG, and then, like, fucking 2 months later, or like a month later, like, bam, we lose our Dragon? Like, I'm pretty sure Konami in Japan was like, you better fucking ban those Dragon Rulers, like, fucking do it now, when they hadn't really been doing anything. So I think that there is a very legitimate chance that we're getting towers back just because of this card, because without towers, this second effect doesn't really mean anything, because nobody's gonna play Skybase. I don't think so anyway. Skybase is okay, it's really not that good, but even without the second effect, I still think this card's pretty strong. I mean, just being able to protect your spells and traps and having a monster, like, this is better than something like Climate Change, because again, it gives you that same type of protection for your scout, but this thing can actually attack. Like, if you ever search Climate Change and you set it in your back row for protection for your scout, if it got blown up, it just, you know, if it never got blown up, it just sat there and did nothing. This card, you can just summon it and beat the hell out of your opponent. Now, the last thing is, well, I guess it's really never going to be that relevant. I was going to say, if you flip over skill drain, this guy will still be level 4. So where the other Qliphorts, you know, I think a lot of them would be like level 8 and shit like that. You can exceed. This guy will stay at level 4. So, you know, I mean, it doesn't really benefit from skill drain. Like, it won't go to like 2800 attack or anything like that. It won't be like level 8, but I mean, that's really not that relevant. I think this card's good. I would definitely probably play a copy of it. I would take out something like Climate Change. Let me know what you guys think. And hopefully, I mean, you guys will be like, oh my God, Cap, you're saying Towers is balanced? No, Towers isn't fucking balanced, but I wouldn't mind seeing Towers back, because I just, like, it's fucking nostalgia, boys. I want to fucking play Towers. There's enough. I mean, I guess I'm not trying to say it's balanced because of answers, but it's like enough stuff in the game that can kill Towers now, especially now that everybody has access to, like, Utopia. R.IP, rest in pepperonis to Europe, though. So thank you guys for watching, as always.